Okay, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. Today my group will talking about the iPhone, and my name is Shamaibu. I will doing the introduce about the iPhone. The iPhone is founded by Stephen Paul Jobs, and he was an American entrepreneur, inventor, and industrial designer. And he became a CEO after drew $1 million out of the company in July 1997. And he is the people funny about the first iPhone in the world by Apple company. And with the purpose of iPhone, iPhone is a line of smartphone design and marketed by Apple company. They running Apple iOS mobile operating system. The iPhone introduced by Steve Jobs in 2007. Apple has sold over a billion of iPhone to date. The first generation iPhone was released on 29 June 2007, and there have been multiple new hardware integration with the new iOS release. The user interface, they have the device multi-touch screen, includes a virtual keyboard, and they have the Wi-Fi and cellular network as well. The iPhone can be used for take a photo, play the music, receive about the email, sending the text message. And actually they can receive about the voicemail as well. The Apple continues the different iPhone with regular release of update version. I give example about the iPhone 4. The difference with the first two iPhone, iPhone 2 and 3, they update about the using the App Store, and they using the Wi-Fi and cellular network as well. They really develop about the system iOS iPhone. With the key challenge of the iPhone, so Apple constant innovation with each new iteration of iPhone. One example delay in commoditization. And they have the global new smartphone and with the 20% of last quarter and in 2014 and 18% of first quarter in 2015. And another key challenge of that is building the commoditized product or service with less offering, so can also provide identifiable different. It means nowadays the iPhone, the new iPhone, can be connected with the television or internet. So you just have the iPhone, but everything all in one. You can use the internet, use the television, or you can do everything in the one phone. So now my colleague will continue.
Hi, I'm Zara. I'll be talking about the internal analysis, so I'll be using value chain and Rio to explain this. So by applying the value chain model to the iPhone business, we have explored the areas of the business that we think are significant in adding value in order to give iPhone its best possible competitive advantage. In this presentation, we'll be focusing on marketing and sales, technology, and research and development. So in terms of marketing and sales, Apple has an ingenious yet simple way of advertising the iPhone, which communicates all the essential information regarding design and technical features to customers without being too overwhelming with the information. The methods in which iPhone is advertised. So billboards, TV adverts, and YouTube and celebrity endorsements. So as you can see here, the advertising on the billboards is minimal and just shows the phone itself. This reinforces that Apple itself is already a well-known brand and it speaks for itself. However, it can be argued that this way of advertising can only capture the attention of current customers and is missing the opportunity of those who are not interested in buying an iPhone, but potential customers could also be interested and willing to find out more about purchasing it. The second example shows shots from people who own iPhones on tube platforms. This showcases the new camera features, and while also showing how easy it is to take quality pictures which can otherwise be taken on a digital camera. It also engages with customers on a personal level by showing the day-to-day use of customers with examples of pictures taken from the iPhone, rather than high-profile adverts that they usually use. iPhone has created and sustained brand loyalty through complementary products. The wide-ranging but controlled product portfolio of Apple creates a uniform and unique product usability and customer experiences. An iPhone would be incomplete if it's not paired with iTunes or the App Store. Even the aesthetics of a MacBook, for example, show uniformity, which enables a brand to be recognized easily, especially when used alongside the iPhone. The iOS system is used across Apple's product range. The same design principles and the same functions create a strong sense of familiarity. Because the iPhone complements over other Apple products, consumers would usually stick to Apple with the Apple brand rather than buying different products from different manufacturers and have varying products and consumer experience. The fact that the company has a larger pool of loyal customers who all tend to buy products under the Apple brand. Technology and research and development. The technology itself is user-friendly and highly intuitive in comparison to its competition. Their design is simple and standardized amongst all the iPhones. However, despite the simplicity, it can be seen that iPhone delivers a premium user experience which is presented through the innovative design considerations. The company's revenue is primarily based on income generated by the iPhone. Apple rely heavily on iPhone's revenue, which means innovation and product improvement is their top priority. The market of first-time smartphone buyers who can afford the iPhone, such as Android, to switch to iOS to find continued growth. Innovation is one way to do that, with the releases of the cheaper option being the iPhone SE. This development will capture the market of customers who are looking for a more affordable choice while keeping the main functions and operating systems as the other iPhones. And as Apple continues to develop its emerging categories, it's unlikely that R&D spending will slow down anytime soon, especially as consumer demands are changing and there are many technological advances. The iPhone business spends heavily on research and development. Its brand is known for technological innovation and for the great quality and unique designs of its products. In order to maintain its competitive advantage, the brand has to invest a lot in R&D. In 2016, it spent more than $10 billion. The company spent a massive $2.8 billion on R&D in Q4 just alone. So now I'll be moving on to VIO analysis. So the main resources are the brand name, hardware, software, ease of use, current capability with third-party software. So in terms of value, the new technology and design features and usability are valuable. However, the inability to support web interfaces such as Adobe Flash Player can put it at a disadvantage. In terms of rarity, the brand names and ease of use are relatively rare in the smartphone industry. However, if the brand name is copied, it will give them a temporary competitive disadvantage. The ease of use of iPhone comes from the touchscreen interface compatibility and the compatibility of iTunes. So in terms of imitability, the brand name, hardware and software are difficult to imitate. This can be attributed to Apple purchasing many hardware producing companies and protecting their iOS software with patents. Both brand name and hardware give a competitive advantage. And finally, being exploited by the organization. As mentioned previously, iPhone and Apple as a whole take advantage of the brand reputation and customer loyalty by operating the same standardized operating system across all their products, which allows ease of use. Now I'll hand over to my colleague.
So I'll be covering the external environment, and the external factors can be evaluated using PESTEL analysis. And PESTEL analysis is basically a framework or tools used by the marketers to analyze and monitor the micro-environmental factors that has an impact on an organization. The first factor is a political factor. There are so many problems which company cannot control, such as geopolitical uncertainties, war against terrorism, authoritarian work, and issues with the health, which can affect the sales of iPhone. In August 2016, EU declared that Apple owned $14.5 billion in back taxes to Ireland. Apple's tax dispute with EU could also be a threat to US-EU relationship. In June 2016, Britain voted to voted to leave the European Union. This move is expected to cause confusion for both political and economical factor and uncertainty for the UK economy. As we know, Apple products are worldwide. As to reduce the operational cost, Apple has subcontracted with the different countries like China, Korea, and Ireland. If these countries face any kind of political instability or any other problem which cause to delay in manufacturing operations, will lead to ruin the Apple's image in the eyes of consumers and the dealers. The next factor is the economic factor. Economic factors are of the major importance of any business revenue and the profits, whether its market is local, regional, national, or international. With the revenue of $233 billion in 2015, Apple had become the first American company with the market value over $700 billion. Purchasing power depends on the world's economic conditions. According to the past few years, the sales of iPhone is less as unemployment rate is very high. Unemployment rate is very high in different countries, and this is the reason why the sales of iPhone is very less in different countries. Another reason was increase the price of oil, which causes inflation in the world's economy. But now world's economy is getting better, and the company has already purchased its own foreign currency, so Apple revenue has increased in the global market. The next factor is a technological factor. Because of iPhone's innovative and high technology products, iPhone always take advantage on other phones. Apple comes on the top of the new innovative products because Apple has already invested a lot of money in research and development field. While Google has entered the smartphone business as well with the Nexus and Pixel, these products are also a threat for the sales of iPhone. In the Asian market, Samsung and Google are most popular because of the less price, and they try to provide similar features as iPhone at very low price. The next factor will be legal factors. Laws and regulations are a major challenge before any business. Compliance is absolutely essential, or you lose a large part of your profit as fines. Not just product-related laws and taxes. There are labor and environmental laws too, which that requires attention. Apple's largest contract manufacturer, Foxconn, has acknowledged hiring teenagers as young as 14 in a Chinese factory in breach of national law, in a case that raises further questions of Foxconn's student intern program. Sources also state that Apple has entered murky water with its Apple Pay. This could bring Apple into a new zone of bitter finance regulations. Apple has planned for further diversification into new areas. This could bring additional compliance-related burden for the tech brand. Further, I will explain important bits of Porter's 5 forces as well. Threats of new entrants. Establishing a new business is establishing a business to compete against a firm like Apple requires high capitalization. Also, it needs a lot of money to develop a strong brand name to compete against a firm like Apple. These factors make new entrants very weak. However, there is a large firm already with the financial capacity to enter the market to impact Apple. Google has already done so through products like Nexus smartphones. Samsung also used to be a new entrant, but now it's already giving very high level of competition. Next point will be competitive rivalry. Apple has avoided price-based competition by staying away from low-end market where price is the main differentiator. By generating a superior product to the Android phones, rival tablets, it competes based primarily on quality, service, and unique ecosystem. It is possible that its competitor has similar way of doing the same things. The reality is that once a person buys Apple product, this is unique appeal to stay within that ecosystem. The next will be threats of substitutes. There are so many substitutes already in the market. For example, people can easily use digital cameras instead of using phones to take pictures. They can use different landlines to making calls. But there are many people, they would rather use Apple product because of their advanced features. And these substitutes has a weak force in impacting Apple business. these also reviews are very weak as in terms of limited features as well. Further, my colleague will go to the strategies, new strategies.
Good afternoon, my name is Mona. I will be introducing iPhone's current strategies. Apple has built a reputation unparalleled by any other technological company in the world. Some may even go as far as saying that the tribe Apple have, perhaps indirectly or directly assembled for the iPhone, is globally unmatched by any company. According to Fortune, there are currently an estimated 750 million active iPhones worldwide. This strategy is known as differentiation, but more specifically differentiation via becoming the name. In other words, when a prospective customer goes into Apple to purchase a mobile phone, chances are they're not going in just to buy a cellular device, they're going in to buy the iPhone. Another strategy used by iPhone is conducted in their product cycle. The iPhone constantly evolves year by year, with some being subtle improvements and others being huge, such as the conversion of the lightning cable and most recently the huge change of the removal of the entire headphone jack. This process, according to an article by Seeking Alpha, says this is a major new device redesigned every 2 years and a mid-cycle upgrade in between each redesign. Touching back on something that my colleague mentioned earlier, another strategy that iPhone use also is done via Apple Music, whereby they use their endorsements with celebrities such as LeBron James, Drake and Taylor Swift to engage in their fan base to be able to access their music exclusively via Apple. My colleague will now introduce our newest strategy, which is called the Try Before You Buy scheme.
So our new strategy is try now, pay later. This strategy is basically to introduce new products to the target market who can't afford buying new phones or contracts. So whatever new phone Apple introduces in the market, they can access to that phone without paying its full price or going through the whole process of getting a contract. So how they can do it, let's say Apple introduced new phone and we want to experience that new technology. All we need to do is to just go to the Apple store and we ask them for the offer, which is try now, pay later. They will give you the phone and they will ask you for the deposit, and you can keep that phone for 1 week, and once you will bring the phone back, they will give you deposit back, and that's it. And why we need this strategy? This is a way to promote iPhones in those people who can't afford but wants to experience using iPhone, and this can raise interest in non-iPhone users to try. And because of iPhone uniqueness and attraction, non-iPhone users most probably will be keen to use it as their smartphone in their life. And if they are happy to buy those phones, they can keep that phone by paying the rest of the money to the Apple Store. For the safety reasons, they keep the deposit, and if you for taking the phone, you need to provide your proof of identification or your driving license. If anyone won't be able to provide any of these, Apple won't be able to provide you this service. So my colleague will further explain this strategy.
To assess such a new strategy, it's important to use a few frameworks to determine the viability of the proposal of this new strategy. I'll be using the SAFE framework, as you can see to the left of me. To answer whether this is suitable or not, we say yes, because many people who aren't able to outright buy an iPhone can access the latest releases. Also, it's different from a contract that you get from most carriers such as EE and Vodafone in the UK, as these contracts are for an extended period of time, such as 12 months to 24 months, more commonly 24 months. The constraint of this is you're legally binding with this contract, and it may in fact affect your credit score. Another alternative to this is some third-party retailers such as Very.com, who use the installment method, where you're able to get your hands on the newest more specifically iPhone device by paying in installments. But again, our method would be a lot more accessible for a lot of people that don't even have the payment to pay initially. So to answer whether this is acceptable or not, we say it is the level of risk, so it is acceptable because the deposit put down for the initial payment covers potential damages, and also there will also be a fine to be able to recover anything that goes wrong with this.
Now, is it feasible? The strategy would be cheap because no actual marketing, advertising or extra cost will need to be put in. This also ties into the financial perspective when using the BCG matrix, and also from this we can also gather that the customer perspective within this matrix also covers the fact that new customers, again as mentioned previously, will be able to access the latest releases. Now I'm moving on to my colleague to finish off.
So our new strategy is will be so about
Sorry
many
guys, I'm going to have to
benefits.
stop you
So-
there. We've already reached almost
you.
21 minutes.
Thank you so much.